Alrighty then, ladles and jelly spoons, please be upstanding for the bottom right hand corner of the map, where our turn player is here, and his name is Defiance. And his opponent, in the top left hand side, playing for I don't even want to know how you pronounce that clan's name. But the name itself is easy to understand, it's IIeleven, who is our Zerg player for the day. Apparently it's Ashes. That is a very cool logo. That is a very cool logo. Okay. Checking out for some shenanigans. We're not seeing anything too weird yet. There's not any sneaky SCVs heading across the map to do proxying. And the first barracks is happening at home. We're looking at... we're not looking at a massively cheesy pool, I don't think. But that's fine. Hey, Boltar Games. Nice to see you, buddy. So... fairly stock opener from both players at this point. I'm just at which point we're just waiting to see when the natural comes down. Here it is. Cleaning bot. The thing about the cleaning bot is it can actually interfere with the game. It can legitimately... apparently this is a best of 3 as well. Yeah, the cleaning bot can interfere with the placement of buildings if you're unlucky enough to have it in the line of fire. Like if you're trying to place a building down and the cleaning bot's standing on top of it, then you can't place for a second. And the cleaning bot apparently will make best speed out of there. It will try and leave. But there is just a moment where you're just like, would you please go away? So, Terran walling off, as to be expected. There you go. Cleaning bot was in the way. It's entirely possible that could have delayed him slightly. Cleaning bot doesn't care, though. Cleaning bot is not afraid of you. Anticipating a Reaper, but there's no Reaper there. There was an SCV scout. That's as far as it got. There was no Reaper. It's a little bit late. Actually, where is this Reaper going? This Reaper is going to scout the natural, but it's not bothering to jump up the wall, so these lings are in a great place if the Reaper was to do that. But it isn't. Factory coming down. No add-on for the factory yet. There we go. Oh, chase that into its... Is it in the peeping spot? It is! Oh no, it's not! The Overlord! It might actually die! No, it's fine. You'd have to really want to hunt that thing down before you got to it. Does he really want to kill it? I don't know. You might have been a little busy defending this Reaper. What damage does the Reaper do? Oh! Oh, that's an interesting thing to see. That is definitely not something you want to see as a Terran player. That is definitely a bust. That is some incoming pain train. There's going to be some Roach Ravager with a soup sort of ling. And he currently has 1 unit that can defend it. Ooh, that's not looking good. Thing is, there is a tank on the way, or there will be shortly. If only there was enough time for it. Unfortunately, there is just not. Desperately trying to repair this bunker. Can he keep it alive? Oh, it's possible. If that Roach goes down, second Marine in the... Oh, that's painful, and that means the bunker is down. Which means Terran's in a terrible place right now. He's having to pull the boys. If he can get this tank out and keep it alive, this might be salvageable, but honestly, I don't know. The AI of... Oh, here we go. The tank is up. Can it be shot by the Ravager? Oh, he's actually not shooting at the Ravager. He's not shooting at the tank with the Ravager, by the way. I'm just going to turn sound down a touch. So at this point, Zerg's in a great place. I mean, our Terran player has stabilized, and this base is technically quite hard to damage at this point. Like, he'll be able to kill it eventually. It's just going to take forever. The question is, can our Terran player resecure his own natural? Bearing in mind that while he's doing this, Zerg has established a third and is presumably going to macro up like a beast. Like, while you've got this pretty hard contain. I don't know, man. Like, this looks like a terrible place for Defiance to be in because he cannot move forward. Oh, hey, DMR. Okay, he's trying to chase the Overlord away just so he can make sure that the Ravagers don't get as easy access to the top rank. Oh, that's painful. And that Marine having a bad day as well. Okay. Yep, got to move that out. Okay, now there's enough tanks, he might be able to push the Ravagers away. He might be able to. The thing is, while the Terran player is pushing the Ravagers back and trying to reclaim his natural expansion, really hope that doesn't stay there. The Zerg player is just macroing up. Like, he's got, you know, as many workers as he could eat. So, you know, fully saturated, more or less fully saturated. Third base for macro at the moment, but at the moment, yeah. Our Terran player really needs to do something. He either needs to go kill the guy, or he needs to expand fast. It's going to be a rough spot. Uh-oh. That Marine is moved just in time, actually. Nicely done. But, oh, and this might be the thing that gets it back into it. Because Banshees are actually really hard to deal with as a Ravager. Ooh, there's some confidence for you. Our Terran player saying, you know what? I'm going to push forward. I don't need this bunker anymore. And he's right. He can push out. The problem he has is that while he's doing this, his opponent's teching up. His opponent's macroing up. The Zerg player is you know, he's still making drones. He's still saturating this base. And our Terran player is just way, way behind on everything from upgrades to bases, to workers, to army count, to everything. This is going to be a tough one for him. I'm anticipating maybe we see medevacs coming out soon. Well, full scout happens, and actually it'd be interesting to see how long it takes Defiance to notice that there's a changeling in his base. It is one of the most frustrating things in the world to have this thing floating around and showing your opponent everything you have, and you're just like, would you please go away? Because right now, IIeleven's gotten full sight of everything in this base. If he clicked on this, he'll know it's another barracks. And therefore he can know his opponent's tacking into you know, Marine Marauder type. Possibly just Marine tank, we'll see. But while that's happening, I mean, if we just look at the army supply values, it's not looking good. Twice the army supply, more or less twice the worker supply, which, I mean, okay, so Terrans have mules, but a mule's only the equivalent of about 3.5 workers. And, oh, Banshee coming out to do some damage. Unfortunately, there's spore crawlers everywhere already. Uh-oh. See, this is the problem. Trying to shoot a Banshee with Marauders, with Ravagers is actually really quite hard. The only problem is the Banshee doesn't have Cloak yet, by the looks of it. And at this point, it is potentially just, this base is bustable. Especially if he goes with Dropper Lords and drops them in the back, but you don't often see that. And our Terran player has seen the massive army of death coming across the map to him. Here's the 4th base. Yeah. Oh, that tank's not dead yet, but it will be in a moment. There you go. The thing is, because the Zerg player has such better macro, because he's got all the resources he needs, and because he's not getting pressured at home, any engagements he takes, he can afford to take bad engagements. He can afford to take losses. As long as he kills off these tanks eventually, he can just force his way up the ramp. And like the Marines in the bunker are doing something, but they're not doing nearly enough. And like I say, 3 biles is enough to kill a tank. Uh-oh. That Roach didn't get the retreat instructions right there. Yep, at this point it is just break the front lines. And once you're in, you're in. Oh. I'm wondering, actually, yeah. 13 Roaches, going to have +2 before, potentially not before he attacks the next time. We'll have to see. But because he's taken out that tank, again, like, how many tanks have been lost here? 4 tanks have been taken down. It's getting very difficult to cover like all the area of the front with what tanks he has left. Like, this tank cannot really move because it leaves a huge hole in the defenses. But he's going to need to do something because the Ravager count is not low. Yep, that's enough Ravagers to one-shot a tank. That's all he really needs. 4th base, not saturated yet, but it's getting there. 3rd base saturated, yeah, we're looking at that one. And at some point the main's going to mine out, looking at all the expansion from, all the tech from Zerg player. Because he can. Our Zerg player has not been pressured really at any point during this game. There was an attempt with the with the Banshee, and it was a good start. I think if it had Cloak, he could have done a lot more with it, but unfortunately, it did not. Oh, that's painful. That moment when your opponent is just sitting there bombing you from space, effectively. Oh, hello. Banshee going out to do some damage. Unfortunately, it's only going to get one kill before it gets taken out. Oh, an attempted push out. The problem is, there's just too much stuff. Those 2 tanks are trying to keep the forces back, but he just doesn't have the army to push out. Because of the early attack, because of the suppression of his natural, our Terran player's in a difficult spot. Like, the fact that he's still holding on is impressive. Oh, and this is what we need to see. This is what we need to have happen here. Don't send the other guys out with him, but send this drop out. If he can get something into the 3rd base, kill off this queen, and basically just wreck this whole place, he can do that before the Zerg player can return. However... Okay. For some reason, our Zerg army is pulled back. Slight imbalance on the gas there, but you know, it happens. Sending out lings everywhere. And the lings here are going to die. So now he knows that there's something there. And these liberators, if they can be put in useful places like back here, could potentially do a lot of damage. If he gets the, well, he doesn't have the upgrade for range. Oh, okay, yeah, no, if they can kill that queen off, and they can, this then becomes really painful because not only can the workers be killed, but the lava can also be killed as well. Unfortunately, they can also very easily be maneuvered around. And don't worry, I have seen the Nidus coming up in the base. Question is, has our Terran player seen the Nidus coming up in his base? I don't think he has. And that's what the 48 Zerglings are going to do when they get there. Have a guess what they're going to do. That's a lot of Zerglings being produced right now. The walls have been breached. The Terran army is scrambling back to get back in. There's actually quite a lot of damage just from the buildings alone. Like, replacing these buildings is going to be painful and difficult. And because he's attacking into a choke, effectively, like, the Zerg army can retreat easily. I think Terran has the firepower to push this back, and he will. Yeah, the Zerg army gets out, but they did some damage, they took out some stuff, and there's actually still little bits of it here, there, and everywhere. If this gets taken out, that's a real pain. Oh, and we're seeing a lurker upgrade here. Nice, nice. One of the disadvantages of playing Terran is that your buildings will burn down if you don't keep an eye on them. The question is, will he keep an eye on it? There we go. Saved at the last second. So, right now we're looking at a bust. Something to do with the staggering number of banelings and also the adrenal glands on the Zerglings. Actually, this is going to come down to, can the Terran see this attack coming and position properly? If he can get his tanks up, he might be able to carve holes in this attack before it hits him. But he's going to need to do it really carefully. Like, spreading his tanks out would be a damn good thing as well. Just because the last thing you want... That's good. Spreading the tanks out means that Ravagers can't kill them all. Banelings can't just, you know, splash damage all over them. These Marines, on the other hand, are having a bad time. Oh! Beautiful engagement there. That's what you wanted. The positioning for the Terran is he got his siege tanks in place first and then he attacked. This is actually a really good engagement by our Terran player. He's taking a very favourable trade, and that base is actually in range. Ha! Nice. There's some lurkers being made here, but they're being made in range. I don't think that's necessarily the smartest move. If he can put some damage on this base, it might actually force the Zerg player to do something about it. Oh no, he's pushing up the ramp. Yep, the Ravager's got in range, so this attack's been repulsed. Now might be a very good time to leave. Weirdly, actually, the corrosive biles there slowed the Zerg down because he didn't want to walk into his own shot. Like, but hey, that was a pretty nice attack actually. It was a very nice engagement. It did a lot more damage than it could have done. Unfortunately, because he's so far behind at this point, our Terran player is going to need something pretty special to come back. Oh, there's a Liberator there. Oh, hello. Unfortunately, he's done that in front of some Ravagers, so he'll get a couple of kills, but not much. Ooh. Some tanks taking some stuff out in the middle there. The thing is, if these lurkers can get buried, it's going to be a real pain to get rid of. The scan goes down in anticipation of the lurkers disappearing. And actually, this is not a great attack by our Zerg player. The lurkers are making up for it by just being beasts, but... Oh, yep, that third base is basically dead at this point. And that's GG. Okay. So that shows the value of a very early attack. It shows the value of getting in your opponent's face and stopping them from being able to expand. The fact that the Terran was able to take good engagements in the mid to late game was unfortunately not enough to overcome the fact that he just didn't have the stuff to do it. He didn't have the numbers. And that's one of the things about StarCraft is, up to a certain point, having more is just really good. Right, looks like we're ready for the second game. Wow. After that 20-minute slugfest, we're going into game number 2 on Berlingrad. Okay. Okay, looks like everybody's ready. Thankfully, they're actually waiting for me, which is really nice. Like, sometimes players don't do that. They just assume the casters will be whatever. But in this case, bonus points. Do like. Okay. There we go. So, once more into the breach, dear friends, and fill the gap with Terran dead in the top left-hand side. Playing for TG Crew, it is the embattled player, Defiance. And his opponent, will he go for the punch him in the face early strategy again? I don't know. We'll have to find out. His name is IIeleven. I say his name. I don't actually know. So, Terran player did the standard wall-off, because you have to. Anyone who doesn't wall off against a Zerg is basically begging to get murdered. And we'll just see what timing... Did that dog just explode? That dog just exploded, didn't it? It did. And now I'm sad. Oh well. So, at this point, it all comes down to... Oh, expand first. Okay, so we're not seeing the same build as last time, because last time we definitely saw a pool first. The question is Defiance going to err on the side of caution? There it is. There's the scout. You always have to... If you've just been punched in the face, it kind of makes sense that you would want to... Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. He's sending it out to check out the timing on the natural. If the natural's already a certain percentage done, then he knows he's not getting cheesed. If it's not, then the question is, where did the money get spent? And that would mean cheese. But in this case, it looks like we're seeing a fairly standard expand and then pool. Bit more of a macro focused game. Also, interestingly enough, we're only seeing 2 workers in gas. I'm wondering... It does mean that he won't have 100 gas when the... Ah, there we go. He still won't have 100 gas when the pool finishes, so we're not looking at super fast Zergling speed. What's he seen? Yeah, he saw the natural, he saw the timing, he knows he's not safe per se, but he's relatively safe. By the way, if there's any weirdness with the sound, please do let me know. I'm getting spikes. I'm not sure what they mean. Okay, factory coming down. Looks like Defiance is the kind of Terran that has a build that they like to do and is just going to do that build right now. Ooh, hello. He deliberately went out beyond the Overlord to chase it back into the base. While that's happening, there's a little bit of fun and excitement happening over here. The weird thing is, up until they get Zergling speed, Zerglings are not faster than the Reaper off creep. They are faster on creep, but you don't really want to lose them like that. So have a quick pokey over here. Yep, that's one dead Overlord, which actually is going to be a real pain for IIeleven, because it now means he can't make anything for a second or two. Like, the stuff that he's got on the build is still building, but he's basically supply blocked until he gets some more lava up. Question is, how long is that going to take him to realise? Oh, instead, we are seeing third base coming up. Oh, yep. Ugh. I've just realised there's a problem here. I've just realised the problem. Never mind. I will, yeah, the problem is, it's shift control, is it? Ah, that's fine. Control 1 and shift control 3. Ah, there we go. I assumed I'd made the hotkey the same as the scene transitions. But nope, it's fine, we're good. So, Zergling speed now up. The Reaper is now functionally useless if he's still alive. Which he's not. Fun fact, there is a piece of lore about the Reaper, which is that the Reapers are the prisoners who are too crazy to be mentally reconditioned. And therefore they are basically offered a deal, which is if they can serve for a year as a Reaper and live, then they get to go free. Canonically, this has never happened. Also, interesting note, this wall, because it's not got the bunker in it, is not going to be finished when the Baneling attack happens. But there is a tank. So the question is, what will they be able to achieve with this? Okay. The tank's being kept alive! Oh my god! That was some desperate plays right there. That was some definite desperate plays right there. The tank moving up to flank? Flank tank? Again, this is good, because it means that the tanks aren't next to each other, so any Baneling attacks will not kill both of them at once. The thing is, there's no wall. Not that it matters. Well, he got the bunker, but 2 tanks and a bunker will stop most Baneling attacks. At this point, you really want to set one worker to auto-repair. And just leave him fixing all this up, because otherwise the next Baneling Bust will just kill you. That said, on the other side of the map, we are seeing some macro up. He's got the third base. It's not saturated, so presumably he's just using it for lava at this point, for lava injects, because like the queen is that. Oh, no, the queen is being made. She's making a queen to use that base for lava injects. We're seeing actually this is a nice bit. Because this Viking has just been sent everywhere. It's been sent around the map to just kill overlords until there's none left, which denies us like a lot of vision. I think the problem is you know, there's still these guys, so he can't really get out of his base. But this will also cause problems with the Zerg because they need to keep on top of their overlord supply. There we go, some nice repaired walls there. One thing I would like to see actually would be that this section of the base was actually visible, because this is Nidus Worm territory right now. Oh, and we are seeing the cloak, which we didn't see last time. Oh, that's a dead Viking. Yep. Turns out, if you send a Viking around the map to kill overlords and just leave it there, yeah. Turns out people will kill them. Okay, there's a third base up. And because he's a Terran, he doesn't have to build it in situ. He can just build it there. But we are seeing a second Banshee. Ooh, and Hyperflight Rotors as well. This is going to be a hit squad. This is no mere Banshee harass. This is proper Banshee harass. And we're seeing a third one because, honestly, it takes long enough to build the research that you can get. Actually, also, this will do an awful lot of damage to any Roach-based attacks that come up, because even the Ravagers can't really shoot air that effectively. So once the Hydras come out, yeah, we'll see some damage done to the helicopters. But until that happens, I still want him to be able to see all this base, because there's still Nidusable territory here and here. Oh well. Going out to clean out the bit out front with the chunky rifles. What is that? Yeah, at some point I'm expecting to see our Zerg player take a fourth. Well, currently that's not part of the strat at the moment. I like the creep spread. Actually, the creep spread is pretty nice. It would be, actually, the one thing that is missing, I think, for me, would be one creep team here that snakes around and covers his entire base. Because right now, as with the Nidus problem, there's droppable territory here. You could drop stuff all over that. And it would be really, really difficult to deal with, because the first thing you'd know about it would be when your pool died. Okay. I also like the idea of having an impromptu wall. Like this wall here is literally just an anti-siege, an anti-baneling wall, apart from anything else. Oh. Either that or he's trying to research all 4 upgrades at once. Which somehow I doubt. Like, you could get +1/+1 bunker capacity and near steel plating at the same time. Oh, also, yeah. Have fun with that one Marine. The weird thing is, this base is deliberately oversaturated. I'm wondering whether he's going to balance that out now. Okay, here's the 4th base. There we go. And right now, our Zerg player 11 is just happy to keep things, you know. Oh, wow. If you thought your job was a bad job, if you thought that your career was unfulfilling, just imagine being this guy. He didn't even see the base go up. He didn't even see it. It just... if he was paying close attention, he'll have seen the drone, so he can work it out. But, like, where are these Banshees, and what are they doing? Where are the Banshees? They're just at home. I mean, don't get me wrong, they look cool as hell, but traditionally they are not a standard army composition unit. Oh yeah, that was the other Marine, wasn't it? Lol. What a bad day for him. I actually did some damage, though, so that's something. This Queen's having a bad one. Oh, here we go. Here's the hit squad. Turns out one Queen cannot fight 4 Banshees. Especially when they are this fast. There are Hydras, however, so this is a bit late. Welp. I mean, they got a Queen, I guess. That's something. The problem is, because they're not necessarily the best against ground defenses. Okay, this base is a fortress. This one, not so much. Weirdly, it actually might make more sense for a Zerg player to run in through this wall and ignore the tank defenses. It's like the Maginot Line. Oh, going in to kill off some spore crawlers. Actually finish the job, please. When 25% of your air fleet goes down in one shot. Well, actually not one shot. Not even close to one shot. But when 25% of your air force goes down at the same time, you know you're in a bad time. Actually, is it 25%? Yep. He now only has 3 air units. Which, I mean, given the amount of bio he has, I'm waiting for more medevacs. There we go. That's what you want. So this is going to, again, come down to positioning. And actually, based on the last game, Defiance's positioning was pretty alright in the last game. Like, he was able to take some really nice engagements against a much bigger Zerg army. So the question is, what's going to happen now? Because, like, neither player's maxed out. Defiance actually ahead. He's a lot behind in workers, but his army is sizable. And that's a bad time. At which point you need to respond with something. Unfortunately, I think he's too busy looking at this lot. Ooh, that's a bad time. The Air Force is dead. This base, however, I would advise using that stim pack, my dude. So. Okay. Ooh, Terran's being aggressive. There's no reason why you don't siege everything unless you were moving forward. Which, unfortunately, he didn't put the wall down. So, his tanks are going to be a little bit behind. And this is where we see the benefit of the creep spread. Because now, our Zerg player is going to have advanced warning that there's a large Terran army incoming. Because he's literally going to be able to see it. The tanks need to siege. But again, he's sieging the tanks up slightly spaced out from each other. And if he can just tank hop forwards. Oh, that's a lot of lurkers. That's a lot of lurkers. Oh, that's painful to watch. Everything was clustered. And the lurkers just... Oh, God. There were also a few banelings in there as well. Actually, I like this. He's leaving some behind so that Terran can't just randomly push up. Oh, no! Why would you sit in range? I mean, that's something, I guess. That is definitely going to take him down. It's just going to give the Zerg a lot of time to reposition. Oh, that's a painful engagement right there. The Terran actually possibly double stimming. But in that time, the Lurkers got to move forward, and because they have the burrow speed upgrade, they can just shove themselves in the ground and start doing pain. And the Terran army doesn't have the scans up. There we go. He's still there. 46 Zerglings being made will end that pretty quickly, but, you know. None of them are in range. Oh, no. Yep, just flood forward. And that's a dead Terran, especially because he unsieged at the wrong time. Oh, no. Oh, no. Even better. He unsieged at the right time and got 2 tanks away. The problem is, there's a very large Zerg army on his doorstep, and he no longer has the advantage in that regard. That said, oh, that's a dead base. Gonna try and repair it, but unfortunately, no. And that's a nasty engagement for both players, but it looks like our Zerg player is going to come out on top? Question mark? No. Oh, okay, no. He's just not. The Hydra's trying to bust in on the other side. Not the best thing they could do, but there we go. Terran's holding on. Defiance is showing the truth of his name, actually. That was pretty good. I was expecting that to go a lot worse for him. But no, it looks like he has his +3 finishing up now for his infantry weapons. Medevac count is good. All he needs to do now is just get in there. Because the longer he leaves a Zerg to macro, I mean, we're looking at how many bases now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base Zerg versus 4 base Terran? 3 base Terran? 3 base Terran. Yeah, he's going to need to do something. That is a lot of Zerglings. That's one of the problems with having a 6 base Zerg against you. They have a lot of capacity to rebuild. Okay. Those tanks are not sieged. Oh no. And the Zerg floods in. Those Balings didn't do that much. Because that tank isn't really involved in the fighting. The thing is, as we said before, like, a Zerg player can afford to take bad trades. As long as he ends up winning in the end. And the thing is, this base is massively oversaturated because, well, there's nothing left. Like, he's running out of minerals. This base is massively oversaturated. Our Terran player can't secure a 4th. Oh, that's interesting. He's putting a sensor tower up just to see when he needs to maneuver his army, and this is a big drop. Not full. Never mind. But he's also going to run in directly into the creep, which means that 11 will see it from a mile away. The question is, will 11 actually see it from a mile away? Yeah, it looks like he's decided not to bother going for the actual attack and just to clear the creep up. That was good timing on the Terran's part. Now he needs to leave. And that's a good way of doing it. Kills all the live creep teamers so that the only thing that can happen there is the creep can stay where it is. And he picks up. Before the Lurkers burrow. Unfortunately, there are still Hydras in the area. I'm surprised that... Oh, I know why the Zerg army pulled back. There's stuff happening. Unfortunately, the Lurkers have been able to burrow, so you need to not be standing in the burrow zone. Unfortunately, you're standing in the burrow zone. So they did great trades there. Those 2 Marauders are feeling pretty good about life, though. Like, they've got a personal medevac each. Oh, actually, tanks doing a lot of damage to their own units there, which is not fun. The double drop happening at the top base as well means that this base actually might just fall while the chaos is happening down below. Those medevacs need to leave. There we go. If he focus fires, he could potentially take the base, but no. No, it looks like he's not going to focus fire on it right now. And that drop is dead? No. Okay, that drop is reduced, but he's getting out. And actually, that was pretty effective. DMR, I thought that was out of range as well, but it turns out, no. Also, the sizable chonky boys here. Like, he's bringing the Marauder party. That's a lot of chunky boys. And the weird thing is, this... Oh, that's nice. It's possible a bit of an overcommitment, but it's nice. Because the drop is still there, some of the Zerg army has to be devoted to just staying back and making sure it doesn't kill everything. The problem is, if they drop now, they're going to drop directly into these lurkers and die. Yep, that didn't do much. Both players up to 3-3, almost 3-3-3. We are seeing plus... We're not seeing plus vehicle upgrades from my Terran player, which would be a good thing to be able to see at this point. Oh, medevac going out. And he'll see the army! Oh no. Oh, that's not good. That's 38 workers right there. Sorry, when I say 38, I meant 34! Oh no. And actually, that was not a great engagement for our Zerg player. He managed to get up there just as the tank sieged, and they blew his army apart, frankly. Problem is, he's got a lot of it. And back we go. Is this base going to die? Probably not, actually. There's too much health on it. But it will get some good trades off. Because the Zerglings can't get in to trade properly. Nice. That was pretty effective. 11 drones went down in that attack. Which brings him down to, you know, less than the Terran has workers, which is kind of nice. Oh my god, I can't believe those Marines all made it out to that part where they died. No, they made it. They escaped. I'm not going to lie, Defiance, proving his name at this point. He needs to put some more defenses on this base, though. Like, it needs something. Because definite bad times are happening here. And this base is on fire. Wait, is that the natural? That's the natural. Ooh. That's not a good time. The thing is, Defiance is holding on for grim death. But he's only got 29 workers now. Which is not the number of workers that you want. Like, it's just not. And because our Zerg player knows that he can just bust in here anytime he really wants. Or at least he could. He's just going to bust up the middle. There you go. One tank. Not really enough to defend a base of this size. Especially not against an army that size. And lurkers are just nasty. It would be actually really good, I think, to see some... Oh no! The tanks are going to be in range of this. It would have been really good to see some Liberators, especially with range, because they do a number on lurkers, but unfortunately we did not see it, and it looks like this might be the death push. There we go. 11 takes it in a much, much more intense game than it was in game 1.